Okay, welcome back to the Lexicata Getting Started video series. In this video, we'll be walking through how to start building your own workflow templates and how to use those on matters within Lexicata. So let's go ahead and head over to the settings area. And it's going to be here under the matter settings where you'll go ahead and start setting up these workflow templates. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a section labeled workflow templates. By default, we give you one called the intake checklist. It's just a very basic example that has 3 items on it: an intake form, an appointment, and a document. But for this video, I'm going to show you how you can build your own custom template from scratch. So let's go ahead and click the new template link, and this will open up the workflow builder. So you'll see here there's 5 different types of items that can be added to a workflow template: appointments, tasks, forms, documents, and emails. So the workflow really kind of combines all the other concepts we've covered in the previous videos, from scheduling appointments to adding tasks, and the intake form templates, the document templates, and the email templates. All of these different things can be used in a workflow. And so what a workflow really is just sort of a predefined process or a standardized, repeatable process that you can build for your law firm to use for various purposes. So it could be for an intake process. It could be a series of email communications you want to go out during the case to update the client on what's going on. It could be really anything you want. And so a lot of firms will use different templates for different purposes. So you might have one for a specific matter type. Every time you get a divorce case, you might have a series of tasks that you need to execute or someone in your office needs to execute. And the workflow basically ensures that every step is getting completed and you're not overlooking any important items. So it's a really great way to just create organization within your firm and keep everybody on track and make sure the important things are getting taken care of. So let's go ahead and just build a sample workflow template here. And I'm just going to call it sample workflow template as the title. You'll want to use something probably more descriptive that explains actually what this should be used for or when it should be used. But just for demonstration purposes, I'll use that for now. And let's go ahead and add one of each of these action items to the template to show you what can be done here. So first of all, let's go ahead and add an appointment. So you just click the link. So for an appointment, there's not much to configure. The only thing you really need to input here is basically the name of the appointment or the description of it. And this is what's going to show up on your calendar when you use the appointment scheduling feature in Lexicata. So if you want to call it initial consultation or whatever else you call your appointments internally in your office, you can do that. So let's just say 30-minute initial consultation. And I'm going to say, in office as opposed to on the phone or something like that. And so what some firms would maybe do if they do both types of consultations, they might have one workflow template for an in-office consultation and a different workflow template for an on-the-phone consultation. So you could create 2 different versions basically depending on what scenario arises. These other icons here to the left, there's a red icon which if you click that, it will remove the item from the workflow, and you can use this blue arrow icon to move items up and down and change the order once you have more than one thing. So I'll show you that in a second. Let's go through and add the rest of the items here. So let's go ahead and add a task. Tasks are probably the most commonly used item on a workflow. Again, just as a reminder, tasks are internal to-do list items. So, make sure to follow up or get a copy of their previous will or any kind of action item that needs to be done by your firm. So let's just say here, maybe after the consultation, I want to send, post-consultation follow-up materials. Maybe you have some kind of next steps outline or something like that you want to send over. You could do that as a task. With tasks, you can also set a due date, so a certain amount of time, a number of days or hours or weeks or whatever, after the creation of this workflow template. So when you add the workflow template to the matter, the task would be triggered, however many days, weeks, hours, months after that exact moment. So if I added it at 10 a.m. and said 1 hour later, the due date would be at 11 a.m. You can also set your reminder email option, so at the time of the due date or some amount of time before the due date, just like you could when creating a normal task. I'm just going to leave all these blank for now. Let's go ahead and add a form. So with a form, you basically have an option to choose from any of your form templates that you build in the form builder. So I showed you that in a previous video. You'll see I have two options within here, the general intake form or the bankruptcy intake form. The bankruptcy intake form is the one we built in the previous video. Let's just go ahead and select that. And again, like I said, for the appointments, it's kind of a similar idea here. You want to use the appropriate item for this workflow. So it's good to tailor your workflows to a specific scenario. So if this happened to be a workflow for a bankruptcy case, I'd obviously want to use my bankruptcy form. All right, a couple more things here. Let's go ahead and do a document. Documents, similar to forms, you have a drop-down list to choose from any of your document templates. And again, I showed you how to build those in the document builder in a previous video. Here I have two options, retainer letter or a HIPAA form. Let's just say retainer letter. And the other option here as well is you can choose upload a PDF. So if you didn't want to use the document templates within Lexicata, you can always draft your documents outside Lexicata and choose to upload a PDF into the workflow and send it out instead. And you would just put in a name here or a description so you know what document needs to be uploaded later. But again, I'm just going to leave it as my template in this case. Finally, let's go ahead and add an email item. So just like with forms and documents, you can choose which email template you want to use. Keep in mind that the only templates available here are going to be the other type of email templates. Again, if you remember from the previous video where I showed you how to create these email templates, the form, document, and appointment email templates are only used when taking one of those other actions. So if you're scheduling an appointment, it'll use the appointment email templates. Setting a form, it'll use the form email templates. And if you're sending a document for signing, it's going to use your document email templates. So these other items on the workflow, the appointment, the form, and the document, may all have an email associated with them automatically, but those would be those types of templates. If you want to just have an email item, such as a follow-up email or a here's next steps email or what to expect from working with us email, whatever you want, that would be one of the other email templates. In this case, I just have that one referral partner check-in email that I made previously. Not the best example because it doesn't really make sense in the context of this workflow, but you get the idea of how to select which email template, and just again, keep in mind that it's only the other types of email templates. Finally, let's go ahead and check the box here that says schedule automatically. And you'll see the last option you can do with an email is basically predefine how many days, months, hours, weeks, whatever, after creating the workflow on the matter, how much time you want before the email goes out. So let's say I wanted this to go out 2 days later. From the moment I added this workflow, that email would be scheduled to automatically be delivered 2 days after that time. So pretty handy little feature there. It's really great for thank you emails, follow-up emails, things like that. And it makes the communication process with clients really, really easy. So that's how easy it is to add items to the workflow. Keep in mind, if I wanted to move something around, maybe I want to put this form up before the appointment. Maybe I send them the form before I schedule the appointment. You can do that really easily by dragging and dropping. And the other thing to keep in mind here is you can add multiple versions of any of these items. So if you wanted to have 10 tasks on here, you could totally do that. You can have multiple forms, multiple documents, different forms and documents. So you can really make these as long or as short as you want. Some people will even have just a single item on here that's kind of pre-set up, like a single task that's due in 3 days. You can just add one task that's already created with all the details. You don't have to manually type them in every time by using these workflow templates. So that's how you set them up. Let's go ahead and just click the create button to save this. And you'll see it here now in our list of workflow templates, sample workflow template. Again, you can make as many of these as you want. You can use them in all different types of ways and on any different matter. So that's what I'm going to show you here for the last thing in this video, how to actually add one of these templates onto a matter and what you can do from there. So let's just go ahead and make one more little matter in the system here. Quick intake. All right. And put in an email. I'm going to skip over the rest of this stuff because you've already seen this. Let's just go ahead and click create. Okay, so here we are on the matter unassigned for Bob Thomas. And here's the workflow tab within the matter, which I've explained previously. And basically you have the option here to add two different types of things to the workflow. You can add a single item, and I've already gone through all of these in a previous video, or you can add a template or email campaign. So this is where you're going to come to add one of your workflow templates onto this matter. So here's my sample workflow template that I just created. Let's go ahead and click on it and I'll show you what happens. With one click, it automatically adds all of these items onto the workflow. It also puts a little title at the top here so you know what template this is. Some firms will like to use multiple different templates for different scenarios and things like that. So nice way to just keep track of what's going on. You can always remove a template if necessary by clicking the little three dots icon and then removing it. But basically from here, you already sort of have an outline of what needs to get done on this matter. This is really nice if you have staff. It doesn't require a lot of oversight. Everyone can kind of see what needs to be done, what has been done, what hasn't been done. And from here, it's really easy. Everything's kind of ready to go. The form, ready to go. Click options, prepare it. It's already pre-selected because it was part of the workflow template, so I can skip that step and just click prepare the form, email it out or fill it out now. And it's that easy. I'm just gonna go ahead and exit for now. And the other thing is you'll wanna check these off so everyone knows what items are done, what items are not. Appointment, same kind of thing, schedule appointment. And you'll notice the appointment name is pre-filled with what I had in my workflow template, so I don't have to spend any time typing in the name of the appointment now. Go ahead and just close this for now as well and check it off. Task, the task is already marked as pending because there's not much to do with tasks, but if you needed to edit it for any reason, you could. And when you're done with that, obviously you just mark it as complete. Finally, the documents, again, just like with the forms, it's pre-selecting the template that I specified on my workflow template, so I don't have to change anything there. Just click draft document and go through the steps to send it out. And finally, the email, because I indicated to schedule it automatically, you'll see the status of the email item is already scheduled. It's set for 2 days in the future because that's when I specified to send it out. So we'll go ahead and just check everything off. You'll see my workflow is done and it says 5 of 5 or 100% complete. So that's how workflow templates work and how you can add them to the matters. Again, it's a really great way to just create repeatable, consistent processes that you and everyone at your firm can follow for each type of matter or each type of scenario that arises. Hope you enjoyed this video. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to set up the Lexicata inbox and how to start capturing leads from your website with the Lexicata WordPress plugin. Thanks for watching.